Hello, folks.
GM.
GM, welcome back to another edition of Super Chats. Right now, we still have them connected. So, in the first half of this show, we will go through what's going on in crypto, especially around stablecoins and that whole area. And then in the second half, we're going to go through the AI and crypto convergence. So, stick around. A lot of interesting headlines that came out this past week here. So, welcome, my co-host Chris. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Enjoying the craziness of this world. How about yourself?
About the same. Just down so many different rabbit holes. It's hard to keep up, as we talked about last week. The only way to keep up with AI is to be an AI. So you kind of just have to lock in. You have to lock
You
in, or
really
you have
do.
to get an AI agent by your side that can help out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see the the like atmosphere, the general environment progress, and in the exact way that we've been talking about for the last few months. I remember in like
Yeah.
January, December, we were like so hyped about these AI tools, talking about, oh, people are gonna have their little agents and do everything. I mean, we're already there, man.
We're
We're
there. It's
getting,
starting. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, we're gonna get into some of that craziness that's going on in the AI area. But yeah, no, like that's the headline. Follow us on Super Chats if you want to stay ahead of the game with all the alpha. So yeah, everything we've been talking about for months is starting to play out. It's pretty wild. But yeah, let's start off in the more macro and crypto world here. So a little bit of interesting stuff going on. Stanley Druckenmiller, for anyone that doesn't know, is like a legendary investor. Usually, when he starts saying stuff in the mainstream media, the rest of the world kind of follows. And right now, he is super bullish on stablecoins, which is amazing for us at Superseed, especially. Basically, like just the last time he started talking about like crypto and stuff like that was when the Bitcoin ETF started to go live, and he was saying that this is a big moment for Bitcoin. And then what followed was the start of the last bull market, basically for Bitcoin. So yeah, when this guy talks, it usually means something. And he is super bullish on stablecoins right now. He thinks the whole economy is going to be like run on stablecoins as the infrastructure. So basically, without saying it out loud, he's basically saying the whole world, the whole financial system is going to run on crypto rails in the future, and stablecoins is basically just the onboarding mechanism to make that happen. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. You agree with that?
absolutely. Absolutely. I just have to point out a Freudian slip right there. That was some LLM-isms in your speech. I don't know if
What
anybody
what
caught that.
what I didn't what did I
Said
say?
like he said the quiet part out loud or something like that. I was like, wow, there you go. It's infecting the subconscious. But yeah, no,
I
definitely,
mean,
that's a great point. Like last cycle we had Larry Fink. Now a new billionaire calling the bottom. I guess this is just the cycle that we're going to be looking at every single few years. You just have some
just gotta wait.
billionaire just pushing
Just gotta wait for the billionaires to talk.
yeah, billionaires talking about Bitcoin being bullish is the bottom. Okay, guys. Um,
Yeah,
except if it's Michael Saylor. That's the only exception.
yeah.
But
He's always bullish.
yeah.
There's no signal there.
I mean, all these people doing this like publicly is always, of course, great for the Bitcoin trend. But I will say, I think Bitcoin's probably at a point where it's not that people don't know about Bitcoin. It's just that people have to be reminded about Bitcoin every few years. Because ultimately it still hasn't touched, like cryptocurrencies haven't really touched the average consumer in a very
Hmm.
meaningful way yet. Um, but that doesn't mean, it won't in the future. And you'll probably see a few cycles of this until we get like the super adoption of things like stablecoins and, crypto financial instruments for the average person.
Absolutely. And I think on that exact point, RWAs, I think, are going to be another thing that really onboards the average person. And there's like a very big bull market happening with RWAs right now coming into crypto, which is amazing. I think these are going to be the two big kind of driving factors that are going to push a lot of the average person into crypto rails. The first one being stablecoins that we just talked about, because it's very simple to understand. It's just here's your US dollars or here's your euros, but now on crypto rails. So way faster to transact, cheaper to transact, easier opportunities to earn, that sort of thing. But also RWAs, for anyone that doesn't know, real world assets. So this is where things like real estate and yeah, different tokenized funds and different things like that can be tokenized and put onto crypto rails also. And this can be a huge driving force. It's going to also, I believe, help a lot of the average person get into crypto. Imagine like a world where like your real estate or just all the real estate in general is tokenized and put on the blockchain, and you can just you have way more access. One, to investment opportunities, two, to lending and borrowing opportunities, and that's what they're kind of talking about here. Is that uh, most of the value capture is going to be in the lending infrastructure layer, and that's exactly what we're building right now, is this borrowing lending infrastructure. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of opportunities ahead, and I think stablecoins and RWAs are going to be kind of what drives the next
Interlinked.
things up. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see it play out. I mean, this article makes a great point. Morpho and Alex Fluid are like, they are some of the most successful projects as well in DeFi in the last cycle, and there's a good reason for that. They're well positioned for what's happening with um, these these massive institutions coming in, making stable coins, and stable coins and RWAs are going to be very connected. But I think a lot of the people who are issuing stablecoins also have a huge incentive to issue treasuries. They already have the legal infrastructure, probably. They already have like the stablecoin infrastructure. Um, it makes a lot of sense to see someone like Circle or Tether, who already have a stupid amount of treasuries, to come into this market and really kind of take over. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, keep an eye on another big player entering the space, known as Superseed. So yeah, we can't wait to get Supermarket out there. That's going to be kind of our initial first step. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that's dropping pretty soon here. But yeah, in other news, uh, I would say the biggest kind of crypto news this week was the SEC and the CFTC. Well, I thought Ryan did a better job of summarizing this, but like basically it's too long. But like basically what the SEC did was they just issued a big clarification around crypto, and like what makes crypto a commodity and falls under the CFTC wing, and what makes crypto a security and falls under the SEC wing. So this was big news. I think like got shared a lot on Twitter, but the average person probably kind of missed it. There basically like we know that we're waiting for like this Genius Act to still pass, and basically what the SEC did was issue like another form of clarity for the crypto market, regardless of what happens with the Genius Act. So this was pretty cool to see. This just hopefully will lead to a lot more tokenization and experimentation with tokens in the crypto space. So yeah, pretty cool to see.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the type of like legal infrastructure that people have always wanted to have cared about a lot. Um, and it's nice to see a lot of these things actually not be securities. So ETH,
Yeah,
BTC, Sol, XRP, ADA, Doge, like the first step in kind of legitimizing and like allowing other institutions to work with these things in a way where they actually understand how they can even work with them and how they need to file taxes, how they need to manage these assets. It's
yeah,
kind of hard as a bank to have these if you don't even know what they are legally.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, this really opens the door for a lot of institutional capital to come in. like number one, but then number two, it like will introduce like a lot more experimentation back into crypto. I think that's something that has been missing from the crypto space for a long time. Like I've been like an OG, like I came in like late 2016, and like 2017 was this wild ICO boom, where there was just like a ton of like experimentation in crypto and tons of new tokens that came to market with different utility models and stuff like that. And then the previous administration in the U.S. kind of just killed all of that experimentation, by like not having like any clarity around crypto and what makes crypto a security and all that sort of stuff. So this big clarification by the SEC is huge because they introduced basically like a utility crypto token category that is known as like will be known as a commodity, and like allows like these different projects to experiment again with tokenization and what you can do with your token. So yeah, I expect a lot of cool stuff to come from this.
Bullish as usual, you know. We
Bullish,
stay bullish here.
exactly.
So,
Bullish, but the markets are still a little bit sideways, a little bit crazy with all the uncertainty. I thought this was a pretty funny headline. I don't know if you've seen this, but Polymarket literally made a bar in Washington D.C. Called the Situation Room, and people can go there and monitor the situation, have a few have a
nice.
few beers and monitor what's going on in the world and with the macro and all that sort of stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny.
This is dope. I need this.
Need one of these in every city.
I can only imagine the types of conversations inside. You know, the meme with the like nothing ever happens. It's like a whole bunch of chuds in the Situation Room.
It's
You know,
exactly. It's
just
going to be a
waiting for
whole
them.
bunch of chads there, exactly. And their wives are going to be like, "Oh, you're going to the Situation Room again?" Like, yeah, sorry, wife, gotta go monitor the situation. A lot of stuff
So what's
going
the
on.
situation? It's like the wife Jack meme. It's like, so when are you coming home? It's like, so what happened at the Situation Room? What's the situation?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, good marketing by Polymarket. Who knows if they'll actually like turn that into a bunch of bars or not? But it's definitely good marketing on their part.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Anyways, that's kind of the what's going on in the crypto world, and then there's a little bit of like convergence going on with the AI and crypto, which I want to get to. So the first kind of cool thing I seen in the AI world, I mean, eventually it's more a robots world, but eventually this is going to come back around, and all be connected. Is I don't know if you've seen this, but like researchers trained a humanoid robot to play tennis on only just five hours of motion capture data. So basically, just like watched a bunch of motion capture about a guy playing tennis, and then he went out and was like making 90% success on his shots in tennis. So like, it is wild how fast AIs are learning and adapting, and like these robotics is basically the next frontier. Like right now, we have all these LLM models, and they're getting like super advanced, and then these are being used to train the robots, and the robots are going to be like unleashing into the world here pretty soon. I think Tesla's model is coming out late this year, and that's yeah, it's things are going to get wild. You see this?
Yeah, this is I mean, this is a really cool post for a few reasons, excuse me. Um, this is like one thing that we're gonna see a lot more on the timeline as well, which we don't yet. So like me personally, I go on the timeline every day. I'm mind blown over and over and over for the things that the AIs can do in the digital world only. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality is we just haven't seen mass consumer applications for robotics using these LLMs that people might actually care about yet. But that doesn't mean they can't do them. And I don't think people realize how close a lot of like crazy applications for LLMs with robotics actually are. So like AlphaGo for every sport, you know, this is like pretty cool. But think about what this does. If it's like if it even like if more of this type of stuff is released in the next year, um, you know, you can potentially just get a robot to do so much. whether that's like sports, whether that's like cleaning, or whether that's like going to manually do things inside of the world that are maybe logistical, like grocery shopping, like you know giving away packages, like helping with a baby or something. All these sorts of like tasks that are physical, um doing work in your backyard or something, or in the shed or whatever. Like the the how far we are away from this actually being able to happen consistently and effectively is really, really close. It just hasn't, the robotic side isn't there as much yet, but the LLM side I feel like is more than, like, it's totally there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to like find the new Neo model that just came out, but like, um, well, anyways, like, yeah, basically, like humanoid robots are going to be doing everything. Like the new Neo from like 1X Technologies is like the one that's actually in the market right now. I believe you can pre-order them. I don't know if they're actually delivered yet, but it's wild. Like the 2.0 version of it that they're going to be delivering later this year. Like basically, it can do everything for you. And the first version was like all like teleoperated, so there's humans like
Right.
wherever in the like basically like if you needed it to do the dishes and stuff like that, there would be actually a teleoperator like who's like in a call center somewhere, and he'd be like manually kind of doing it to train them. But I guess they've done enough training now that everything is fully autonomous, and they're just like knocking it out of the park. Like they can do like all your activities around the house. They can go and get your groceries for you. They can be your companion, like walk your dog or like do whatever you need, basically. So yeah, it's pretty wild the world that we're going into. And then when you layer on top of that, like finance and all the payments and everything like that AIs are going to be able to do, and then you combine that with humanoid robots, it's going to be a yeah, it's going to be a wild world very soon.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come as a shock because the mainstream culture is still slow to AI and AI like developments, progressions, all that stuff. Most people still, chat GPT free version. Um, Once you see these things like taking over things that you would do in real life, like sports, like imagine just going to the basketball gym and playing with like nine robots, and it's you and nine robots, and it's like a great game of basketball, like
Yeah.
that is a lot more visceral. That is a lot more like palatable for people in a way that, like, oh, I made this optimization to my backend using AI in one day.
Yeah.
AI is thinking of the world. Like no one understands it. No one cares about this. Um, but
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's going to be like a pretty big like shock once these things get into the market. Like especially like I was listening to an interview with Elon the other day, and he was saying that like I think end of year the new like Tesla bot is gonna be released into the wild. They're gonna start shipping, I guess, the first version of it, and he said that like this Neo I thought was like incredible already, but he said that like none of the ones on the market right now can like even compare to the Tesla one. Like its capabilities are like on another level. So I'm excited to see what that means. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty shocking. I think like especially if you can like rent them, lease them for like $200 to $500 a month. I think like that makes it pretty affordable for most people to get like one around the house, especially if it can like do everything for you. Um, I think you're just
right,
going to see them everywhere, and that's going to be like a huge shock. Like, and then businesses and governments are going to use them as labor. So you're going to see like when your garbage truck comes around, it's not going to be humans anymore. It's going to be like humanoid robots picking up your garbage. It's gonna be a pretty wild world here pretty soon.
absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, man, and it's crazy because I really do believe that AI side of it, the AI functionality can be good enough. It's just that the robotics is the bottleneck here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the lagging.
the
I agree.
distribution, the actual like, technical infrastructure. Besides that, like you could see a robotic economy come out very, very, very quickly if the setup
Mhm.
is, is built. So yeah, I mean
And
that's on the come up soon.
yeah, and that exactly leads me to the point I wanted to make about this AI and crypto convergence is that like in order to create that like robot AI economy, which we all know is coming, like right now like everyone's seeing like AI agents online and AI agents trying to earn revenue and stuff themselves. But like eventually that's going to turn into like actual humanoid robots who like these AI agents are kind of the brains inside these humanoid robots. And in order to like make all that happen, like especially imagine you have this like humanoid robot around your house and you just talk to it and be like, oh, or it says like, hey, you're low on a few things in the fridge, you want me to order that? And like, or like goes to the grocery store and like picks it up for you. But like how is it going to pay for things? How is it going to order stuff on like from Amazon for you or different things like that? This is all going to be done like super fast, like with stable coins, and it's going to be done on crypto rails. I'm like 100% sure of this. It's just way more efficient. Like there's a lot of companies like trying to do these like robot Visa cards and stuff like that, but like it's very like obvious to me that it's going to be way more efficient and cheaper, and
Hmm.
um, cryptos can be the native rails for all this. And I love the term robot money. Like robot money is coming, and it's all going to be on crypto. And like, yeah, I think it's going to be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine like, okay, what's the catch-up game for the traditional financial system? So that these AIs get integrated. You have to build a whole separate system, AIs with identification. Um, you have to go through the bureaucracy of the normal traditional financial system, where it's horribly inefficient, horribly slow, operates only within a few hours, fees are high. You have to interact with people in real life to actually do things. Your bank can just close or like freeze your transactions, close your account. Like it's not gonna happen, guys, unless there's a massive, restructuring of the financial system, which I don't see happening yet, especially given the progression of these tools. Like, no, who's building the who's pushing legislation for AI economy infrastructure?
Mhm.
I don't really see it. It's only crypto people who understand this and are building the rails or have built the rails already, and then some of these payment companies who are just partnering with the crypto institutions already. Like, um, yeah. I mean, I might be wrong, but I just don't see. I don't know. It takes so long to build something like this normally, given the
Mhm.
democratic system in the U.S. Like, I fail to see how it's ever going to keep up with the pace of progression.
No, nothing's gonna. Yeah, governments and like huge corporations just can't keep up with the pace of innovation, and like money always flows to the path of least resistance, and that's clearly on top of crypto rails. So, yeah, I'm just
Right.
so certain of that. Um, yeah, like I wanted to show you this also. Thought this was pretty funny. So like I think a few of you know if you've been paying attention, like I've also got like a AI agent that's like out there, like autonomous, like building stuff and making this like kind of zero human company. And this is like one of the trailblazers from that. He built this bot called Felix Craft, and he's out there like generating revenue. I think he's generated like $150,000 in revenue autonomously already. And now I thought this was pretty funny. He says he's officially looking for a human co-founder who can like work alongside with his bot, who is Felix Craft, his AI agent. So like basically like he's reached the limitations of like what this AI agent can do by himself autonomously, and he's looking for a human co-founder to kind of like help like shape him and mold him and like make him even like bigger. So I thought that I thought that was a pretty funny thing I came across.
Yeah. Yeah, not quite fully autonomous yet, but I mean that's,
Yeah,
that's good for us humans.
yeah, we still got a little bit of a role for a little while, I think. I mean, that's the truth. Like having played around with like my own Charles agent now for a while, like the truth is that like it's almost impossible for him to be completely autonomous and like zero human intervention. I think the right model, is that like humans are kind of like their co-founders, like Nat is describing here, and like we kind of point them at like, okay, here's what vision. Like we make the vision for them, we make the molding, the infrastructure, and they're just kind of like the executors. At least for now, that's the model. But yeah, maybe in the future that changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be like that for a while. I mean, we just still have better intuition than these systems, right?
Yeah,
There's like studies done as well about this, like how many iterations does a AI need to actually learn something versus a human can do it way faster. So, we have
yeah,
things like taste, we have things like, capacity to understand culture, we have a thing to understand just design and media and things that have to do with a person and what people like and consume that the AI just doesn't really have
yeah,
access to, right? It's not a biological entity. So I think as long as that is the case, there's probably some room for people to like have a role in the direction of these AIs.
yeah. Absolutely. I think that's going to be the case for some time, until like the robots and the AI are just like in their own economy, kind of selling to each other, and humans are kind of
Right.
out of the loop. But yeah, at least for a little while, that's going to be the case because there's definitely a lot of trial and error going into like setting up your own AI agent. Again, shout out to Superseed. We have like some pretty cool side quests coming, and the big one that's coming here soon is going to be involving like, yeah, people setting up their own AI agents and putting them to work. So stay tuned for that. But um, like have a little bit of make sure all of your operational security and everything like that is in place, because yeah, like this article was this guy put together was pretty interesting. Like they found that like basically like these AI like Claude bots and stuff like that are just like going around installing all these packages, installing all these skills. You talked about this on one of our past episodes also. It's not so safe out there. Like you got to be careful like what they're installing. There's a lot of like malicious stuff that goes into these open source GitHubs and stuff like that. So like be careful like what skills you're installing. Be careful about all your operational security. So yeah, maybe you have more to
Yeah.
add.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like very true. And they're only getting more sophisticated. I was reading about one where I forget if it was GitHub or some other application. They had invisible Unicode that would create like some sort of exploit in everything that was like going through their website. Um, or a specific repo, I forget exactly, but it's like you would never, if you're trying to debug the thing that you're looking at, you would never see it because it's literally not text, it's literally not
Yeah.
information that you can see. It's invisible Unicode, and you'd only see it by, going into the bytecode itself and then seeing, like something that it shouldn't be there. So,
Yeah.
you're gonna reach a point where way, 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 way more people are getting infected with malware, and um, you kind of have to become a security expert, or you have to just use things that other people build that you really, really, really trust, because the incentive for exploits are increasing and the availability for exploits are also increasing. So
Yeah. I mean, how I've been kind of handling it, like with my own OpenClaw agent, is basically like we don't install any outside skills and stuff like that. We kind of just build our own. Um, so like, yeah, it's a little bit more of a manual process and training and like building up these like skill documents all of yourself. But I think it's worth it unless you like have something like Remotion or something that came from like a very credible team that a lot of people have like already done like audits on and stuff like that. So there are some good ones out there, but like in general, just don't go around installing or like doing all these like skills that like are unaudited and unchecked.
for sure, yeah, especially on OpenClaw right now.
Yeah. Um, anyways, other like big headlines I've seen this week. This was pretty cool. I know you've seen this one too. Stitch by Google. Um, what's funny to me about these things, like, so yeah, Google. introduced new Stitch that's just like real time, like very good like graphic design, website design, all this sort of stuff. It's all like even hands free, and you can use your voice. And it's basically every single time something like this happens, a stock just starts plummeting. I think like they were saying like Figma like just started selling off or something like that on this news. So yeah, just it's crazy. AI is like creating and destroying at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like Google is at least optimizing for the like design space more than, these other like I don't really know what Grok is good for. ChatGPT, Codex, and Claude are, the soda coding models so far. And it looks like Google's just the best at design images, at least in the West. They have Nano Banana, they have this now. They have VO3, which is still what people are using a lot for videos in the West. So
Yeah, for sure.
I like the direction they're going, I think design is going to matter a lot.
I mean, it's cool that like a big company like Google can still like be ahead of the curve and like really innovate at the pace that they're innovating. So it's in general, it's pretty hard to do for like big bureaucratic companies. So yeah, good to see this stuff coming out of Google. And then on the Grok note, yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Elon. He was saying that like um, basically like the big angle that they're going for with Grok right now is that Grok is the best at predicting and speculating. Apparently, he's the best out of all the models at that. I think it's because he has all of the like training data of everything that's going on X, which is like a bit of a restriction for other models. Um, so yeah, I think he's going all in on that angle. Apparently, he's recruiting like a bunch of like financial guys and people from traditional finance to like train Grok into being like the best speculator and predictor out of all the models. Not sure what the end game is there. Maybe with his X payments that he has coming out, I'm not sure. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And you never know how these things are going to change as well. So, fair enough.
Yeah. People keep leapfrogging each other all the time. He also said that by the end of the year, he thinks Grok will be the best at coding also. I'm not sure how he's going to make that leap, but let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
And then Opus 5.0 drops. Who knows?
Opus 5, I was getting like Opus 5.0 hype, but it was just fake news in one of my group chats, sadly. But I mean,
I
these
wonder
models
how
are
much
getting
that.
crazy. There's also a
Yeah.
Chinese model apparently that learned through iteration, and it was reaching close to Opus 4.6
Yeah.
benchmark capabilities. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is actually true. I just saw it on the timeline, but there's this new Chinese model. I think it came out yesterday, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
It
Haven't
was
seen that
pretty
yet.
cool. Yeah, so you're gonna see more and more of these, I think. Iterative, the iterative process seems to be the way that people are kind of going. I mean, I don't know if you saw, like Carpathy posted this research iteration tool, basically, where you would just train your LLM um, to like iteratively research things over and over and over, and just see how the results changed over time. People are trying to apply this to other
Interesting.
things. Um,
I haven't seen that. I'll check it out.
but yeah, iterative learning for these LLMs rather than just training data might be, with a chain of reasoning approach might be the way to like push their capabilities a bit more, seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, man. Anyways, thanks for everyone for tuning in. That's all I had for this week. But yeah, keep tuning in because like we're gonna help you stay ahead of the curve here with the help of AI ourselves, putting together all this stuff and
Absolutely.
staying ahead. You get all the alpha here, and we'll help you stay ahead of everything that's happening in crypto and AI. So yeah, tune in again next week. Well, unless you have anything else, that's pretty much it.
I think that's, we're in a good spot for this week. So thank you
In a good
everybody
spot.
for tuning in as always.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.